You never forget the moment your world shifts. For me, it was a crumpled receipt for a diamond ring in my mother's purse, with my sister's name on it. It was supposed to be a quick drop-in. I was visiting Mom after work, grabbing a casserole dish she swore she needed back, urgently. I found it in the kitchen, but her purse was blocking the cabinet. I moved it aside, and that's when it slipped open. I shouldn't have looked. I know, but something, call it instinct, call it trauma, told me to peek. And that's when I saw it, a shiny white slip tucked between a lip gloss and a folded grocery list. Tiffany & Cober 14900 Boer, custom engagement ring to Eden from Levi. My stomach twisted, my vision blurred. Eden, my younger sister. Levi, my fiancé, at. First, my brain tried to lie to me. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe it's a mistake. But I knew Levi's handwriting. I knew how my mom wrote her capital E. I knew what it meant. And I felt my heart splinter. I stared at that receipt like it was a loaded gun. My ears rang. My body felt weightless, like I was floating outside of it, watching a horror movie I couldn't pause. I put the receipt back. Carefully. Silently. Then I walked out of that house with the casserole dish and a face so calm it scared even me. I didn't ask questions. Not yet. I needed proof, more than a receipt, more than a sick feeling in my gut. Back home, Levi greeted me like always, kissed my cheek, asked about dinner. I nodded, smiled, played along. But something in me had cracked, and once it started, it wouldn't stop. I checked his phone while he showered. Nothing. Just clean messages, polite notifications. But then I remembered. He had a second number for work. And suddenly, I knew where this was going. Because you can delete messages. You can hide calls, but you can't fake a receipt. And my mother? She didn't just know, she funded it. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours, playing back every conversation, every odd glance between Eden and Levi that I'd once brushed off. Suddenly, it all looked different. Like how Eden always joked about Levi being too handsome for me. Or how Mom used to say things like, "Your sister has that classic beauty, doesn't she?" As if I wasn't standing right there. I'd laughed it off. Normal sibling rivalry, right? Harmless comments. But now, it felt like foreshadowing. I went full detective, checked old group chats, found a photo from last Thanksgiving where Levi and Eden were side by side, way too cozy. Her hand was on his shoulder. Mine wasn't even in the frame. The worst part? The look in his eyes. Not guilty, not nervous, comfortable. I checked our shared email account, the one we used to plan our wedding. There was a deleted draft to a jeweler I'd never heard of, dated 3 weeks ago. The subject line? Change of recipient name. My hands went cold. I needed answers, but I wasn't ready to confront either of them. So I went to the one person who never lied to me, my cousin Tara. Tara's the kind of woman who reads energy before she reads people. I showed her the receipt. Her mouth dropped. "Girl, this is planned. Your mom and Eden? They've always treated you like the second choice." I blinked. "What do you mean?" She looked almost guilty. "I never said anything because I didn't want to stir things up. But your mom once told me she always thought Eden would marry up first. Like it was some competition." That night, I went through my childhood photos. And suddenly, the pattern became painfully clear. Eden's birthday parties were always bigger. She had designer clothes before I ever saw a label. And my mom? She beamed when Eden walked into a room. I was the responsible one, the dependable daughter, the filler between Eden's spotlight moments. And maybe that's why Mom thought I'd never notice, never question, never fight back. But she didn't realize. She didn't raise a doormat. She raised a woman who remembers everything. The confrontation wasn't planned. It just happened. I walked into my parents' house the next morning like I wasn't holding the match that could burn it all down. My mom was in the kitchen, humming, pouring coffee into her favorite mug, the one that said, "World's Best Mom." It took everything in me not to throw it against the wall. "Hey," I said, voice flat. She smiled too wide. "Morning, sweetheart. Want some coffee?" I set the receipt on the table. Between us. Face up. Her hand froze mid-pour. The smile vanished like fog and heat. Her eyes didn't widen. They narrowed. Cold. Calculating. "Where did you get that?" she asked quietly. I stared her down. "Under your purse flap. Yesterday." She didn't lie. Didn't deny. She just sighed. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this. Like it was some grand reveal. Like she was the victim of timing." "Why, Mom?" My voice cracked. "Why would you pay him to propose to Eden?" She looked me dead in the eye. "Because she deserves it more." Time slowed. My ears rang. I felt my knees go weak. "She's always been softer," she continued. "More agreeable. More marriage material. You're too strong. Too stubborn. I knew you'd push him away eventually." I couldn't breathe. "You bought my fiancé. I saved you from a lifetime of disappointment," she snapped. "Levi was already looking elsewhere. I just gave him incentive." I wanted to scream, throw something, anything. But I just stood there, frozen, heart shattering one jagged crack at a time. Then she added, "Besides, Eden's wedding will bring this family the kind of attention we deserve. You'd understand if you weren't so emotional." That was the moment I knew. I wasn't angry. I was done. Done being the backup plan. The filler daughter. The woman everyone assumed would never leave, never rebel, never burn it all down. I turned. Walked out and drove straight home, hands shaking, breath ragged. Levi was waiting there, and I was ready. When I walked through the door, Levi was on the couch, scrolling his phone like nothing had imploded. Like we were still planning a wedding. Like I hadn't just discovered the ugliest truth of my life. He looked up, smiled. "Hey babe, everything okay?" I stood there, keys still in hand. "You tell me." He blinked, confused, innocent, practiced. I pulled out the receipt, dropped it on the coffee table. "You forgot something?" He stared at it. Too long, too still. Then he exhaled, slow and shaky. "Look, I can explain." "No," I said. "Don't insult me. Don't lie." His face twisted. Guilty. Trapped. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "Like what?" I snapped. "Like proposing to my sister with a ring my mom bought you?" He didn't speak, so I did. "Was any of it real? The late night talks? The plans? The way you looked at me when you said I was your forever?" He looked up, and for a second, just a second, I saw it. Remorse. But not enough. Not nearly enough. "Your mom offered me money. And Eden?" She flirted first. She made it easy. I felt like vomiting. "So you took a bribe and slept your way into my family?" He flinched. It wasn't like that. "Then what was it, Levi?" Silence. And then the final dagger. "Your mom said you didn't really want to get married. That you just liked the idea of winning." The slap echoed before I realized my hand had moved. I didn't cry. Not in front of him. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I stepped back. "You have 20 minutes to get out of my apartment. If you're still here when I get back, I'm calling the cops." He didn't argue. He just sat there, stunned, as I grabbed my coat and walked out. The woman who left that day wasn't broken. She was reborn, The silence after he left was heavier than the betrayal itself. I sat on the floor of my bedroom, lights off, blinds closed, holding the engagement ring he never actually bought. It still had my initials engraved inside. I'd asked for that detail. I thought it was romantic. Now it just felt cruel. I didn't eat for 2 days. Jess came over, banged on the door until I let her in, and forced me to drink water. I told her everything, word for word. She didn't say I'm sorry. She said, "You're going to burn brighter after this." But I didn't feel bright. I felt erased. I replayed every moment. Every family dinner where my mom smiled too hard at Eden. Every time Levi canceled plans, said he had work late, and I didn't press. Every time Eden changed the subject when I brought up the wedding, they'd all known. Maybe not from the beginning, but they chose to let it happen, chose to watch me fall. Grief is a funny thing. It doesn't hit all at once. It sneaks in through small things, like reaching for a coffee mug and realizing it was his favorite. Like scrolling past a bridal ad and feeling your chest tighten. My therapist said I was mourning 3 people, my mother, my fiancé, and my sister. None of them had died, but all of them were gone. And the person who came out of it, she wasn't soft anymore. I started writing, pouring every emotion into a document I titled Dead Weight. I didn't know what it would become. A blog, a book, a black hole to scream into. But it helped. Each word was a brick. And brick by brick, I started building a wall between me and the version of myself who would have let this destroy her. Blocked Levi. Blocked Eden. But I didn't block my mom, because I wanted her to see me rise. The woman she tried to silence. The daughter she traded for appearances. And I was just getting started. It came 3 weeks later. A plain white envelope in my mailbox with no return address. Just my name, handwritten in tight cursive. I almost threw it away, but something told me to open it. Inside was a letter. 3 pages. From my dad. My mom had been divorced since I was in college. He lived out of state, quiet and distant. But his words in that letter, they lit a match under every lie I'd ever swallowed. He'd heard about the proposal from a family friend, the same friend who'd seen Eden flaunting the ring on Instagram. Apparently, she captioned it, "He always knew it was me." My dad had questions, so he asked around. And what he uncovered made my blood freeze. My mom didn't just pay Levi to propose. She orchestrated the entire relationship. She'd met him first, at a charity fundraiser Eden dragged her to. He was charming, broke, and ambitious. She saw an opportunity. Paid him to date Eden, but he turned his attention to me instead, said I was easier to win over, more independent. She told him to pivot, to build rapport with me first, then leave me for Eden after 6 months. A character building, storyline, her words. My dad said she called it fixing the family narrative. She was writing a script, and I'd been the plot twist. I fell to my knees in the hallway, the letter shaking in my hands. She didn't just sabotage me, she cast me. Turned my life into her PR campaign for Eden, her perfect daughter. I was the decoy, the lesson, the collateral damage. And Levi? He was just her actor. My dad ended the letter with one line. "You didn't lose them, sweetheart. You escaped them." It broke me, in the best way, because now I knew that none of it had ever been about love, that the rot didn't start with Levi, it started long before, in the way my mom compared us, in the way she smiled at Eden's beauty and frowned at my ambition. She didn't fail to love me. She refused to see me, and that's why she could never break me again. After the letter, something shifted in me. Grief turned into clarity. Pain morphed into purpose. I wasn't just healing. I was detaching. From her. from the lies, from every version of myself that had lived in their shadow. I stopped returning. My mom's calls. Her voicemails went from sweet to scathing in a matter of days. "I was trying to help you," she hissed in one. "You always sabotage everything good." I laughed. Out loud. I wasn't sabotaging anything. I was clearing the debris. I cleaned out my apartment, boxed up every reminder of Levi. The mugs, the sweater he forgot, the candle he liked. It all went in a trash bag labeled mistake. I didn't cry. I felt free. Jess and I booked a weekend getaway. No phones, no drama, just mountains, cheap wine, and fresh air. Somewhere between the second hike and a very bad tarot reading, I said it out loud. "I'm not broken. I'm done pretending I ever was." I started sharing my story anonymously online. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of women messaged me with their own betrayals, their own receipts. Turns out, betrayal has 1,000 faces. But healing? Healing has mine. I wrote every night. Turned dead weight into a blog, then into a proposal. A publisher reached out, said the honesty punched her in the chest. Good. I wasn't chasing love anymore. I was chasing truth. I went no contact with Eden. She never apologized. She didn't even try. But she kept posting photos, the ring, the brunches, the fiancé. I watched her facade crumble online, one forced smile at a time. And Levi? He messaged me once, just once. I made a mistake. I didn't reply. He didn't deserve my words, or my rage, or me. The only person I responded to was my dad. I called him. We talked, really talked. About Mom, about the past, about why he stayed so silent. He cried. I listened. We started to rebuild something fragile, but real. And for the first time in years, I felt seen. Not by a man, not by a family member, by me. Because I wasn't just surviving betrayal, I was building something they could never touch. 1 year later, I didn't celebrate the anniversary of our engagement. I celebrated the day I walked away. It started small. A cupcake, a candle, a toast to myself in the mirror. Then I posted a photo with the caption, "Happy Unproposal Day. Cheers to never settling for scripted love." It went viral. People asked for updates. Did Eden and Levi make it? Did my mom apologize? The answer, no. And no. Last I heard, the engagement quietly fizzled. No wedding date, just awkward family dinners and fake smiles. My mom stopped calling. Eden blocked me. Levi disappeared, maybe out of shame, or maybe because he found someone else to perform for. I stopped caring, because my life wasn't about them anymore. It was about early mornings in my own kitchen, making coffee for no one but myself. It was about writing pages that bled truth, about turning pain into purpose. The blog became a book. The book became a movement. I started a project called Unchosen, stories from women like me who walked away from people who never truly saw them. We shared, healed, and rebuilt. Together. One night, after a panel event, a girl came up to me in tears. She whispered, "You made me leave him. You made me save myself." That moment, that was the closure I never got from Levi, from Eden, from Mom. Because I didn't need them to say sorry. I needed me to say, "You made it." And I did. The ring's gone. The wedding dress I never wore. I donated it to a nonprofit. The memories, I turned them into warnings, into firewood. Because sometimes, the family you come from is the one you have to leave behind to become who you're meant to be. And as for love, I'm not chasing it anymore. I'm becoming it.